We're gonna talk about hip hop too.
We actually got to get into that. Yeah. And I said this before in the first episode, right? There's absolutely hip hop nerds out there. Fucking huge.
You're one of them.
Nerds. Oh, I'm
sitting here talking to one.
Oh my God. So we're gonna talk a little bit about the old and a little bit about the new. Old news is that the Clipse dropped an album and the entire internet. First of all, legendary rollout from the Clipse. Okay, legendary. I haven't seen a rollout like this since like maybe the early 2000s, 90s, where it was that calculated and that attention grabbing. If you didn't know that a Clipse album was dropping, you were living under a rock, right? And maybe that was voluntary. Maybe it was intentional.
It's me. I'm the resident under rock.
It was a legendary rollout, right? And I don't want to talk about too much about that because there's plenty of people talking about that. What I do want to talk about is what people are not talking about. And that is, this album is not the 10 out of 10 album that people are making it out to be, right? I've listened to the album multiple times. I'm going to tell you, 10 for 10 rapping, like 10 for 10 bars, 10 for 10 lyrics, not 10 for 10 songwriting, not 10 for 10 production. This is not Pharrell at his best. This is Pharrell in his bag, but he's not Pharrelling like Pharrell has Pharrelled before, right? I've definitely heard bodies of work from Pharrell that slap way harder than this, right? I feel like what I should have gotten for people to be responding to this album that way. First of all, there is some slaps from Pharrell on this album, like absolute slaps. It's just not across the board, right? And when you say 10 for 10, you're implying that it's a perfect album. There are hip hop classic albums that are not 10 for 10s. You know what I mean? Like, so to say that this is a 10 for 10 album, I mean, it's just, there are songs on here that just did not connect. There's songs on here that don't connect. I think you guys are just easily impressed because you haven't heard good hip hop in a long time. And that's fine. But let's just keep it a buck. It's probably like an 8 album, right? 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10, you know? But it's great to hear, you know, when's the last time we had a Clipse album? When's the last time we heard Pusha and Malice together? Definitely some great beats on there and great songs, just not across the board is all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Don't kill me in the comments. I'm not a hater, right? I rap myself.
Bring it.
You know what I mean?
Bring it.
As a person who grew up as a rapper, huh?
What is it out of 10? What do you give?
That's what I said, an 8.5, 8 or 8.5.
So I'm obviously along for the ride when we talk about the Clipse. Obviously, I haven't really messed with the Clipse since Grinding, and I'm gonna tell you, I've never heard a Clipse 10 album. So that's where I'm at with that.
I'm gonna tell you, the closest is probably Lord Willin'. Lord Willin' is a classic. It's like one of them classics that's like the dusty classic that people don't talk about, right? But I mean, like, to say that this album is a 10 for 10, no one's gonna be listening to this album 10 years from now. They're gonna be going back to the Clipse. They're gonna be going back to Lord Willin'. They're gonna listen to Grinding. You know what I mean? And they have strong albums though, you know, and it's great to hear these bars from Malice again. There's some points where he upstages, some great features on this album, you know, but I feel like it just wasn't that consistent. You know what I'm saying? The first half of the album was fire. Absolute fire. And then I think it kind of drops off on the second half of the album, right? Some of the songs feel kind of fillerish. Some of the songs, you know, it's just not my vibe, you know? It's just, in my opinion, I don't think it's the 10 for 10 it got. Obviously, you didn't hear it, so
right.
You wouldn't know.
Won't hear it.
That's fine. I'm going to tell you what you should hear.